The glittering landscape of modern celebrity culture often feels like a carefully orchestrated theater where every entrance is calculated and every spotlight is meticulously aimed. For days, the streets surrounding Manhattan's iconic Madison Square Garden had been humming with an unusual electric tension that even the most seasoned New Yorkers could not ignore. Barricades lined the sidewalks, fleets of black sport utility vehicles with deeply tinted windows glided past throngs of bewildered spectators, and white security tents sprouted like high-tech fortresses against the sweltering summer heat. The world knew that a massive cultural intersection was taking place inside the legendary arena, an event frequently described by onlookers as America's equivalent of a royal wedding. It was a gathering where the distinct universes of global stadium pop and elite professional sports were colliding in an unprecedented celebration of love and status. Yet, amidst the towering headlines detailing the union of the world's most dominant musical force and a three-time champion of the gridiron, it was the arrival of the inner circle that truly captured the intricate human dynamics behind the heavy velvet curtains. The grand gathering required an immense production, transforming a basketball arena into a surreal, intimate secret garden that bore no resemblance to its usual athletic purpose. But as the flashing cameras of the paparazzi caught glimpses of arriving guests, the conversation shifted from the macro spectacle of the event to the micro deals of the individual personalities walking through those heavily guarded doors. If you want to keep receiving the most exclusive inside stories and deep dives into the lives of your favorite icons, make sure to subscribe to this channel right now so you never miss an update. Among the select group of close confidants who secured an invitation to this highly restricted inner sanctum was a figure whose entire public existence has been defined by creative boldness, polarizing artistic choices, and a deeply complicated relationship with the public eye. When she stepped out into the New York evening, it became immediately clear that she was carrying a transformation that would instantly spark a massive wave of global discussion. For over a decade, her presence in the entertainment industry has been anything but quiet, making her the perfect focal point for a narrative about shifting bodies, enduring friendships, and the unspoken anxieties that look behind the glamorous facade of high society. As the premiere event unfolded over 2 consecutive nights of celebration, the attention of fashion critics and cultural commentators began to pivot toward her, setting the stage for a dramatic unraveling of secrets, creative styling, and potential romantic tension that no one saw coming. The true nature of what happened inside that transformed theater would only begin to leak out through the curated digital windows of the fashion elite. When the initial images emerged, they did not just showcase custom haute couture. They revealed a physical evolution that seemed to challenge the very philosophy the artist had championed for years. The setting was unparalleled in its grandeur, a stark contrast to the small, independent artistic world where she had first made her mark, yet she navigated the high-stakes environment with the familiar, unfiltered confidence that has always made her a lightning rod for intense public scrutiny. It was against this backdrop of immense wealth, unparalleled fame, and extreme privacy that the first act of this social drama was written, leaving observers to piece together clues from social media posts and anonymous insider reports. The atmosphere inside the initial gathering was elite, yet charged with an unpredictable energy, restricted to a mere 100 family members and closest companions who were granted access to the exclusive Thursday night festivities. This intimate rehearsal dinner was designed to be a safe space, a quiet prelude to the massive logistical feat that would follow the next day, allowing the core group to let down their guard before 1,000 pairs of eyes descended upon the main event. It was here, surrounded by a delicate arrangement of custom greenery and childhood memorabilia, that the long-standing bond between the bride and her most outspoken filmmaker friend took center stage. The sheer contrast between the athletic world of the groom and the avant-garde artistic circle of the bride created an undercurrent of cultural friction that was bound to produce a memorable moment. Observers outside could only speculate on the conversations echoing through the venue. But the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place when custom garment details were made public by those responsible for crafting the evening's visual aesthetic. The garments themselves were statements of artistic intent, designed not merely to fit a guest, but to frame a completely new chapters in a highly publicized life story that has been documented in television scripts, best-selling essays, and endless tabloid columns. Every seam, every choice of vibrant color, and every tailored silhouette seemed engineered to broadcast a message of reinvention, sparking immediate curiosity about the physical and emotional journey that preceded this high-profile appearance. As the night progressed, the delicate balance of high-end elegance and raw, unscripted human behavior would lead to an event that left guests completely stunned, proving that even within the most controlled environments of the rich and famous, the unpredictable nature of genuine personality can never be truly suppressed. The anticipation surrounding the main ceremony on Friday night only magnified the significance of what transpired during that initial private dinner. When the doors of the arena finally opened to the wider circle of 1,000 guests, a veritable cavalcade of Hollywood royalty, chart-topping musicians, and elite athletes filed into the space, creating a dense concentration of global star power. Yet, as the grandeur of the main event reached its peak, the whispers surrounding the filmmaker's appearance and her actions behind closed doors continued to grow louder, highlighting the complex web of past relationships and current transformations that defined her presence at the celebration. The story of this weekend was not just about a historic marriage, it was about the individuals who orbited this massive center of gravity, each bringing their own histories, their own vulnerabilities, and their own headline-grabbing transformations to the most exclusive stage in the world. The curtain rose on the main event of the weekend with a staggering display of security and opulence, transforming Madison Square Garden into a veritable fortress of global celebrity culture. Inside the cavernous arena, which had been meticulously retrofitted into a surreal cathedral of high fashion and romance, 1,000 of the most influential figures in entertainment and sports bore witness to the union of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. The guest list read like a comprehensive directory of modern stardom, featuring industry titans such as Bradley Cooper, Gigi Hadid, Brad Pitt, Jennifer Lopez, Selena Gomez, Tom Hanks, Beyoncé, and Hugh Grant. Every corner of the venue was bathed in dramatic, warm lighting that illuminated the intricate custom decorations, creating an atmosphere that was simultaneously grand and heavily insulated from the outside world. The ceremony itself achieved legendary status the moment it began, officiated by the beloved comedic icon Adam Sandler, whose presence added a touch of heartfelt warmth to the high-stakes proceedings. The emotional weight of the night was further elevated by live performances from rock music royalty, as Paul McCartney and Stevie Nicks took to the stage. Their iconic voices echoing through the arena before the bride herself joined in to deliver an unforgettable musical tribute to her new life chapter. Both the bride and the groom were dressed in immaculate Christian Dior haute couture, standing alongside their respective siblings, Austin Swift as the man of honor and Jason Kelce as the best man, anchoring the massive spectacle in deep family ties. Yet beneath the surface of this ultimate Hollywood celebration, the focus of insiders and style experts began to narrow significantly on the striking appearance and polarizing actions of Lena Dunham. The multi-hyphenate creator of the groundbreaking television series Girls had been a constant presence throughout the multi-day affair. But it was the public unveiling of her curated wardrobe that truly set off a firestorm of discussion across the media landscape. Her longtime personal stylist, Talia Castle, took to social media to proudly showcase the custom ensembles she had engineered for Dunham's high-profile weekend. And the images immediately revealed a physical transformation that was impossible for commentators to ignore. For the intimate Thursday evening rehearsal dinner, which was restricted to an inner circle of just 100 guests, designer Amber Doyle had crafted a striking lime green skirt suit that shimmered brilliantly under the venue lights. The outfit, cut precisely at the knee, was paired with matching luxury shoes that had been thoughtfully thrifted from the authenticated resale platform The RealReal, blending high-end custom tailoring with a nod to sustainable vintage fashion. For the grand Friday night ceremony and reception, the aesthetic shifted dramatically to a bold creation by Christian Cowan. The second ensemble featured a vibrant magenta top adorned with dramatic, flared robe-like cuffs and garnished with a massive, intricate floral brooch crafted entirely out of delicate tulle. The striking top was seamlessly paired with a slimming black floor-length skirt that featured a uniquely structured waistline designed to subtly mimic the classic lines of a formal cummerbund. As these fashion portraits spread across the internet, the undeniable reality of Dunham's visibly reduced frame became the primary talking point of the entire weekend, completely overshadowing standard-style commentary. The dramatic physical change was particularly striking given Dunham's long, well-documented history as an outspoken champion of body positivity and a fierce critic of rigid societal beauty standards. For years, her fluctuating size had been a central focal point of public discourse. a conversation she had actively invited and leaned into when she shot to global fame in 2012 by frequently exposing her unedited physique on television to challenge conventional Hollywood norms. Just 1 year prior, at the absolute height of the global phenomenon surrounding weight loss medications like Ozempic, Dunham had publicly lamented the apparent decline of the body inclusivity movement, expressing sadness that a culture of acceptance had arrived only to quickly vanish from the mainstream. In a candid conversation with Variety, she had noted that while she harbored absolutely no judgment toward any individual's personal choices regarding their own body or the use of modern medical interventions, she believed society could not collectively pretend that people's physical desires were not heavily influenced by deeply entrenched aesthetic pressures rather than purely medical concerns. Her own past weight fluctuations had been deeply tied to a grueling series of personal health battles, including a severe battle with endometriosis that ultimately led to a total hysterectomy and the removal of her ovaries in 2017, plunging her into early menopause and causing significant metabolic shifts. By 2019, however, she had triumphantly announced on her social media platforms that she was the happiest she had ever been, having actively chosen to release herself from the stress of constant dieting and allowing herself to naturally settle at the highest weight of her life. Her personal life had also found a stable harbor when she married the talented musician Louisa Felber in late 2021 after a whirlwind romance that began on a blind date earlier that year. But the sheer magnitude of the physical transformation displayed at the swift Kelce wedding suggested a profound shift in her personal journey, one that immediately caught the attention of major news outlets like the Daily Mail, which promptly contacted her representatives for official comment on the matter. Beyond the intense scrutiny surrounding her new silhouette, the internal atmosphere of the wedding weekend was further charged by the whisperings of a massive social scandal involving Dunham's behavior during the ultra-exclusive Thursday dinner. Reports began to surface from anonymous attendees that Dunham had delivered an incredibly raw, raunchy, and unscripted speech during the intimate gathering that left portions of the elite crowd completely gasping in shock. The tension inside the room was reportedly compounded by the ever-present risk of a highly awkward confrontation with her former long-term romantic partner, Jack Antonoff. Antonoff, who serves as a primary musical co-writer and producer for Taylor Swift, was an integral part of the wedding party, meaning the former couple was forced to navigate the exact same highly insulated spaces. The potential discomfort of this encounter was amplified to a fever pitch by the recent release of Dunham's explosive new memoir, Famesick, which had just skyrocketed to the #1 spot on the New York Times bestseller list. The book contained a remarkably candid and scathing account of their past romance, ensuring that every glance exchanged between the two in the VIP sections of Madison Square Garden was loaded with unspoken history and unresolved creative friction. The shockwaves from the exclusive gathering inside Madison Square Garden continued to reverberate long after the final notes of the star-studded performances faded into the New York night. The grand celebration had served as a fascinating mirror for the complex intertwined lives of modern cultural icons, where personal evolutions and unresolved pasts are constantly laid bare beneath the unforgiving glare of the spotlight. For Lena Dunham, this high-profile weekend became far more than a simple celebration of a longtime friend's marriage. It marked a definitive, public punctuation mark on a turbulent personal and physical journey that has unfolded in front of millions for nearly a decade and a half. The massive interest generated by her striking new aesthetic and her unfiltered, headline-grabbing speech underscored the unique space she occupies in the cultural landscape, an artist who refuses to conform to comfortable expectations, even when navigating the most elite circles of global celebrity. The public reaction to her physical transformation highlighted a broader, ongoing cultural debate regarding autonomy, body image, and the intense pressures faced by women in the entertainment industry, particularly those who have previously positioned themselves as symbols of countercultural resistance. By stepping out in custom garments that highlighted a significantly leaned-down silhouette, Dunham subverted the narrative she spent years constructing, proving once again that her relationship with her own body remains entirely on her own terms. Dynamic and resistant to static categorization, the complexity of her presence at the wedding was further deepened by the intricate social matrix she had to navigate throughout the 2 days of festivities. Standing in the same room as Jack Antonoff, the creative partner who helped shape some of the bride's most defining musical eras, meant facing the ghosts of a highly publicized past at the exact moment her literary work was dominating the national conversation. Her memoir, Famesick, had already established itself as a monumental commercial and critical success, and its unflinching look at the vulnerabilities, artistic ambitions, and ultimate fractures of that past romance added an invisible but palpable layer of narrative tension to every VIP interaction. Rather than retreating from the potential awkwardness of the situation, Dunham appeared to lean into the emotional gravity of the weekend, delivering a performance, both through her wardrobe and her provocative oratorical choices, that ensured her presence would not be overshadowed by the sheer scale of the historical union taking place around her. The sheer contrast between the different chapters of her life was starkly evident, from the raw indie grit of her early career to the polished, couture-clad reality of a mega-celebrity wedding. Her trajectory reflects the strange, distorting effect of enduring fame. Her current marriage to Louise Felber, which began with the grounded simplicity of a blind date, stands as a stabilizing foundation in this whirlwind of public scrutiny, providing a personal sanctuary away from the relentless evaluation of the media. As representatives for the filmmaker remained quiet in the wake of cascading press inquiries from organizations like the Daily Mail, the public was left to interpret the visual and textual clues of a woman firmly in control of her own evolution. The wedding of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce will undoubtedly be remembered as a cultural touchstone of the decade, a masterclass in modern pop mythology and stadium-sized romance that brought together disparate worlds of sports and art. Yet within the grand tapestry of that weekend, the smaller human dramas played out by figures like Dunham offer a more intimate look at the true cost and complexity of living life in the public eye. The lime green shimmer of the rehearsal dinner suit and the bold magenta flare of the main ceremony gown will linger in the archives of pop culture fashion as symbols of a pivotal moment of transition. In a world that constantly demands ideological consistency and physical predictability from its public figures, Dunham's appearance served as a vivid reminder that human beings are inherently contradictory, constantly changing, and driven by a deeply personal search for comfort and identity. Ultimately, the story of this momentous weekend is a story of survival and adaptation within the high-pressure cooker of modern fame, demonstrating that whether through an explosive page-turning memoir, a shocking and raw wedding toast, or a dramatic physical reinvention, the true icons of our culture will always find a way to command the narrative and leave the world gasping.